हम जरूर करेंगे दिल दियां गल्लां का साथ साथ बैठ के with Shri ji this morning. Welcome to this program, Shri ji. It's been a long time, and Dil Diyan Gallan is very happy that you could come and going to present a very important segment of people's lives. I mean, something that's going to benefit them. I will let you explain that to me, but I want to say to the audience a little bit about yourself. Sri Lekha Mohanty has recently retired as a public health analyst working for the US Department of Health and Human Services. And she has worked for more than 30 years in the public health arena, working at the federal level. Her expertise lies in the community level health promotion and disease prevention efforts. Blue zones are unique communities around the globe where people live long and healthy, often living beyond 100 years of age. That's really commendable. I mean, we all want to do that. Main reason is not the, I would say for me particularly, or maybe a lot of people, is to be healthy. Even if you live up to 100, but if you are sick, and then that's not really the whole thing. The thing is that one should be active and be able to take care of yourself. And then if you live up to 100, nothing like it. And then we can see our grandkids growing up and getting married and all that, you know. So, but we have to know what is the right way, and that's where Shri is going to explain to us. And also, I want to welcome my friends who are all over the world. Assalamu alaikum, namaste. Actually, all my Muslim friends all over, today's Eid al-Adha. I want to wish you a very happy Eid. And my friends, namaste and Sat Sri Akal, Jai Shri Krishna to all other friends all over the world, and good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. So we have Shri right here with us, and she's gonna, Shri ji, welcome to Dil Diyan Gallan. It's been a while, but we are very happy that you could join us. And we are very excited to learn about these 5 countries that you mentioned. I think that somebody is trying to join in, I'm going to admit. And okay. So Abhi, I'm back into Zoom so that I can admit some people who are coming in. So I'm going to put you in the gallery part, and let's see this person. I'm going to mute. Okay, Shri ji. No, not me. You. आप कुछ बोलेंगे तो आपका आएगा. So welcome. Yes, welcome.
So thank you, Veena ji, for inviting me to talk on this very important topic. It's called the Blue Zones. And just to give a basic concept of what is Blue Zone, basically unique communities around live long and healthy lives, and oftentimes going beyond 100 years of age. And these residents, they share a very common environment and lifestyles that scientists believe contribute to their longevity. So this is this topic is really very close to my heart, because it contains some cutting edge and evidence-based health promotion and disease prevention approaches. And I just want to let you know that most of the contents that are in my slideshow have been derived from 2 books that I read on blue zones. And again, these are no rocket science. Basically, it's no rocket science information. And as we are going through the slide presentation, you will many of our audiences who have not joined or will be joining us soon, or are already have joined us, many of you may realize that some of them you're already doing. So give a pat to yourself on your back and reinforce that behavior. But also try to identify some things that you're not doing already. So this is a very popular topic. Many reputable health organizations around the world are looking at it, trying to promote it, trying to follow what's happening in these zones that can be applied to other areas of the world. And also I want to let the audience here know that we have at the end is the question answer session. So please ask me, ask questions, and most likely I'll be able to answer. If not, I will get back to you through Veena ji. And Veena ji, do let me give me a 5 minutes alert that, okay, time is up. So
No,
that
no, no, yeah,
this
no, no,
is
that's no problem. No, my quick question is, I have a quick question right now, which you can.
sure.
I just want to know, why is this topic so, like you just, I think you're trying to explain to us anyway. Why is this so important for you, for this topic for you?
Okay,
When it came
this
up,
topic is, yes, go ahead.
in health is very, there's so many things to talk about in health, but this particular topic must be something that you want to share with everybody, and must be some good reason behind it,
Yes, yes. Thank you for asking that. So the reason is that throughout my career, working career, I have been in the arena of public health. And one of the major reasons for being in public health is to learn what is it that can promote health, what are the things that can prevent disease, or prolong the to prevent the onset of diseases. So now in the blue zones, the people, the inhabitants or the residents of the blue zones, they're doing certain lifestyle behaviors. They have certain approaches that will prevent disease, that will prolong our lives, and the lives are, that we will live longer than 800 years and be doing a lot of things that we did when we were younger. So I think that's the reason that I have chosen this topic to present to everyone.
Wow, that's really great. Commendable, because like you just said, we want to live a healthy 100 years,
Yeah.
not anything depending or not feeling well, and then it's like dragging your life if you continue like that. So if we take care of ourselves and live a healthy life. So what are these countries or these people have in common that we can start doing that? I know some of us, like, they are following, but I guess they don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But they're doing it anyway,
Yeah. So again, I want to tell you that this is such a important topic all over the world, that people are looking into it and trying to learn from it and trying to apply to your daily life. So let's go to our slide point,
Yes.
my slideshow, my PowerPoint, and we will be talking all of this. And again, I just want to say that this is Blue Zones 101. If we go in, there's so much that we can learn from this, and you can have several sessions every year to learn from the blue zones, because there's so much information out there. So this is just very preliminary information that I'm going to present to you about the blue zones. So can I go ahead and share my screen?
Yes, please do so. Yes, please do that.
Okay.
So we have Ramaji, Usha, Guddu's here, and then we have Madhu Singhal is here. Welcome all of you to this presentation, and I'm sure some more will be following up. And then, this, like I said, this program goes around the globe and people do watch all over the world. Okay, this is, we share the screen so everybody can see that. I hope there it is. Yes, people can see it on the screen. Any questions you have later on, please do so. I will ask Shiri and she will answer them. Thank you.
Okay. So again, everyone, I thank those of you who are attending this live session. And, I heard the names of many of my friends. Okay. So welcome to this session, and we're going to have discussions which apply to all of us. Let's learn from what the blue zones inhabitants, they do that we may not be doing, and or we may be doing. Right. So okay, so let's. I hope everyone can see the slideshow. My PowerPoint slides. Yes. So the blue zones approach to healthier living. Now let's look at this picture. The pictures here, as you can see, there's a gentleman, and look what he's doing. He's skiing. He's doing water skiing, and he's 99 years old. Look at the ladies on the right side. There's this lady is doing handstand, and she's close to 100. And the others, ladies, again, maybe centenarians who are having such a great time. So what is it that they're doing or following, or the approach? Let's learn from them. So let's look at what is our session objectives. Number one, I want all of you to be aware of what are the 5 blue zones regions across the globe. Let us identify and discuss the 9 common lifestyle habits, approaches, or behavior of these residents who live in these identified areas. And then, let's identify some of the approaches that we may adopt in our everyday life to improve the quality of the life that we have. Right. So here is the list of the blue zones. As you see, there are five areas across the globe that have been identified. One is the Okinawa, that's in Japan, the Sardinia in Italy, Nicoya in Costa Rica, Icaria in Greece, and Loma Linda here in the US.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is a great map of a global map where it shows, where you have an idea of where they are located. And you will notice that, they're kind of spread out.
Yeah.
But also one thing that is in common is they are close to the equator. And even though the inhabitants in the blue zones, they're separated by oceans, but they have many traits, they have many tendencies and traditions and approaches in life that are common. So which is just amazing, which allows them to live beyond 100 years of age, but they're still enjoying, their full life. So let's learn from their lesson, what they're doing. So I want you to read some of these statistics. Look at this. The Costa Ricans, they're healthier than Americans, but, they spend much less on the healthcare. The Okinawans from Japan, again, have much reduced rate of heart diseases, certain types of cancer and dementia than we do here in America. Again, some more statistics. Again, the Okinawans from Japan, they have the longest disability-free life expectancies. And the Italians from Sardinia have the highest concentration of people who are centenarians or who live beyond 100 years of age. And in 1975, a study was done, and that 40 of these people who live beyond 100 years of age, 32 were functionally independent. They didn't need anyone to hold their hand. They walked independently. They went around, went about their lives and didn't need any help. So these were profound. So let's look at what are some of the 9 habits that these blue zone inhabitants had in common, even though they lived, all across the world. They live all across the world. So these are the 9 habits. I'm not going to read it because I want you to just review them as I'm speaking, because we are going to talk about them in my next slides. So this is a pyramid. It is the blue zones pyramid. And we will focus on some of the features or some of the approaches of these blue zone residents. One we will talk about are they move naturally, and the other one is that is highlighted in the red box are they eat wisely. So let's look at, let's first go to the move naturally. In blue zones, the residents who live well beyond, many of whom live well beyond 100 years of age, they move without thinking. They're active throughout the day. They don't have, they're not members of gym or make a certain time, but throughout the day, they're moving naturally and they want to just move around all day. They seem to enjoy gardening, and they walk everywhere. They walk to friends' home, they walk to stores, and the homes intentionally have stairs so that they go up and down. It's not like us here in America. We are looking for the ranch style homes so that you don't have stairs. So these were some of the successes or some of the habits of these blue zones. Now, so let us look at, looking at what they have done, what can we do? So in the book that I have read, it says inconvenience yourself, which means do not have these labor-saving electronic devices which minimize your movement, like, having the garage door opener or having the electric lawnmower, so try not to use those, and also have fun as you move, enjoy your activities. Walking, this, it has been stressed in this book that walking it's free, it prevents diseases, it, keeps you really healthy. So again, if you are going to build this walking regime into your daily life, and make a date. If you enjoy being active with a friend or your spouse or a family member, make sure you do that. And of course, gardening has been shown to have many health benefits. And especially enroll in a yoga class, because as we are aging, the yoga helps us maintain balance, and we have less tendency to fall, and which is a hazard for as we are aging. So now let's look at the 80% rule, which is very, very interesting to me. The blue, and this is practiced by the blue zone inhabitants in all the 5 blue zones identified. This is something that the Okinawans, or the people in Japan, in Okinawa, Japan, practice. It's called Hara Hachi Bu. Basically, it is a mantra. And it is so amazing that these Japanese, before eating, they say this to remind themselves that only eat 80% to the fullness of your stomach, which means don't overeat, because that seems to cause many of us to gain weight. So if you just eat 80% until your stomach is full, 80% of your stomach is full, that's a great habit to develop and remind ourselves before we eat. These residents, they never are on any restrictive diets. Only what they do is they practice mindful eating, which again we will go into what that means. And they always naturally select foods that are rich in nutrients but are not calorie loaded. I can just give you an example. Here we may choose, as we are on the run, let's say we choose French fries. But the people in blue zones, instead, they will go and have let's say a kale salad, which is loaded with nutrients but not so many calories. So what are some of the strategies that we can learn from the blue zone inhabitants? One that has been suggested is serve and store, which means you serve. I couldn't get all the words onto this slide, but basically, before you eat your main meals, serve it on your kitchen counter, and serve your, until you think that this will be enough to fill my stomach 80%. And the rest that's there, just store it away right away so that you don't reach into them as you're eating. Because, many of us, we tend to put the food on our table where we are eating, and it's within easy reach. And, and that can cause us to easily overeat without us realizing. Make your foods look bigger than they are, which means if you look at the diagram here, use glasses that are slender, use smaller plates. It'll look as if you're eating more. So that's the psychology, of eating. And make snacking a hassle, which means keep snack foods out of your sight, where it is difficult to reach, and so that you minimize your snacking on all these high-calorie foods, and also buy smaller packages. And again, these are habits of the blue zone inhabitants that have been mentioned in the book. So some of the strategies, again, is give yourself a daily reminder, like the Hara Hachibu that the Japanese do, where they before they sit down to eat, they kind of put it in their heads, and a reminder that, hey, listen, let me only eat 80%. Let me eat until my stomach is 80% full, and not overload it. So it's a good reminder. And eat slowly. Many of us, we tend to eat on the run, and before we know, we are eating in such a rush that we overeat. And then focus on food, which is mindful eating. I think it's important that we make the time to sit down at the dining table with the family, have pleasant conversation, focus on what you're eating, the quality of the food, and especially the quantity. And then, of course, many of us are already practicing eat early, because if you eat early, you have the time to move around, be physically active, rather than eating so late at night. I have seen many groups which eat really late at night of high-calorie foods, and they go to sleep, and that is detrimental to your health, to our health. Now, moving on to the plant slant, the blues, let us look at what are some of the great habits, approaches that we can pick up from the residents of the blue zones. They eat very little meat, which means they eat meat only when they celebrate. They pick a lot of fruits and vegetables that constitute their meals. Bean is a cornerstone of the centenarian diet. I mean, they eat beans quite frequently, and beans have a lot of health benefits. And one that I'd like to just mention top of my head is they have what we call the soluble fiber, which is very good for our hearts because it removes the cholesterol from our bloodstreams. Then they snack on nuts, and they do not eat processed foods. They eat foods that are naturally available. Any pre-made, pre-mixed foods, you cannot, it's very, that which are very processed, we need to minimize. So what are some of the strategies for our consideration that we may follow based on what we learned about the blue zone residents? And that is the plant slant, which means, minimize, the blue zone residents, they minimize the eating meats, maybe 2 times a week or less, or only eat meat when you have a big celebration during the weekend. They focus on fish. They ate fish almost daily, about 3 ounces, and they did not eat much of the dairy products, especially the cheese, the cream, and the butter. They minimized on dairy products from that is milk products, the cow's milk, and they ate occasionally eggs, which means they try to minimize the egg to maybe 2 to 3 times a week. So these are the habits of the blue zone residents. So let's look at what we can do. So what we can do is increase the amount of beans that we eat. And beans, there are whole varieties of beans we eat. And again, the beans have, beans and legumes. And I know in India, we eat a lot of beans, which is a great habit to focus on and to reinforce because of the soluble fiber that they have. And then again, this is, slash the sugar, which is cut back on your sugar, and especially desserts that the sugar comes with a lot of fat, lot of ghee, lot of butter. Cut back on the sugar. And again, we can have a whole session just on talking on how you can do that. Snack on nuts. That's a great tip to kind of pick up if you're not already doing. Nuts have the healthy fats. The blue zone residents, they loved sourdough bread, and that is one of their eating habits. And go wholly whole, which means choose foods that have whole grains in them. And these days you can see that you can also have the bread made from sprouted whole grains. So those are some of the healthy food choices they made. So continuing on the plant slant, this is kind of on the sidetrack. Inflammation is good in small amounts. It clears infection, it heals injuries. And I'll tell you why I'm presenting this. But however, too much inflammation is not good for you, as it can damage certain, healthy tissues. So the reason I talked about the inflammation is that let's look at some superfoods that the blue zone residents included, and meaning that these foods, which are basically come from the plant origin, they have antioxidants, they have anti-inflammatory, and they contain, besides that, they contain many naturally present vitamins and minerals. So let's look at some of the superfoods that come from the plant sources. Beans, again, you're hearing this beans repeatedly in place of meats. Beans are not only rich in the fiber, but they're also, good source of proteins. Greens, and as we all know, have heard about the kale chips and any other kind of green leafy vegetables, spinach. Please try to include more of them, not only in the food you cook, in smoothies and salads, etc. Let's look at the, sweet potatoes instead of regular potatoes. Now, these sweet potatoes especially have significance to those who have high blood sugar level, because they do not have they have lower glycemic index, which means they do not raise the blood sugar as much. So you can use them in different, cookies, side dishes, of course, and then nuts. You've heard me repeat nuts because of the healthier fats that they contain, and also protein, and olive oil. Again, it's a healthier fat to use for your cooking and for dressings and marinades. So these are some of the superfoods. Again, it continues on. Oats are an excellent source that we can use, especially for breakfast. Again, they have the soluble fibers and have some protein. Then barley, again, it's a very important grain, again, having similar benefits like the oats. Fruits, all kinds. Fruits are, again, they're loaded with vitamins, minerals, fibers. They're lower in sugar, other than a few selected ones that are high in sugar. Then, of course, if you have to drink tea, try to develop this habit of drinking green or herbal teas, because they contain a lot of antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds. And one thing that the blue zones inhabitants did was they drank the red wines. They drink it almost every day, but in moderation. Daily 2 to 3 servings per day. And the red wine, as many of you already know, have a cardioprotective agent that protects against heart diseases. Now, so let's look at some of the strategies for our consideration. Here's a joke here. They fed in this cartoon, they fed this mice a lot of red wine, and that darn thing, it lived much longer than the other mice. So this old man is kind of grumpy about that. So buying a case of high quality red wine, keeping it on hand, and drinking, daily in small amounts, of course, in moderation. And then, of course, treat yourself to happy hour. Don't drink alone. The blue zone residents, whenever they drank, they were drinking in company, with company, or drinking with a meal, and not just by itself. Then again, taking it easy. In other words, it's saying that, manage your stress level. That's extremely important. Stress management is what these people did. They led a life that was stress-free, or they took measures to remove stress from their lives. So going to our next categories is, we talked about, moving, being physically active, what kind of foods to eat. Let's look at some other approaches. Number one is having the right outlook and having a sense of belonging. So those in the blue zones, or the inhabitants of the blue zones, they would always ask themselves, or they have an answer to, why do I wake up in the morning? And in Costa Rica, they do what they call is a plan de vida. And the ones in Japan, in Okinawa, they say Aikigai. So basically, they had to have a purpose in life. And so look at this diagram here. This shows, this is from Japan, the Okinawans follow. And here, it is the convergence of 4 areas of life. As if you look at the diagram, the Ikigai is in the center, which says that have a goal or a plan that which you love, that which the world needs, and that which you're good at, and that which you can be paid for. So basically, having some kind of purpose in life is extremely important for you to lead a healthier life. And so let us look at some considerations. So of strategies that we should follow. What am I here on this earth for? So craft a personal mission statement that you can always look into when you wake up first thing in the morning. Find a partner who will help you with your mission statement. It could be a friend, it could be a spouse, it could be a grandchild, who helps you assess how successful are you in accomplishing your mission, your goal in life. So basically, again, going back to having a purpose in life. And this I've heard over and over again, learn something new, especially as we are maturing, as we're aging, learn a new language, learn a new instrument, learn new dance steps. So learning something new always motivates, your brain cells, energizes them. So moving on to downshift. Downshift is nothing but another word of how to keep your stress level down, shed your stress. Always the residents of the blue zones, they manage to bring their stress level down. And what do they do? Let me tell you, in Japan, they remember, it's very interesting as to what each type of blue zone resident did. In Japan, the Okinawans, they remembered their ancestors. They would have pictures of their ancestors all over their homes. And those in California, they prayed. In USA, they would get together during weekends, use a big chunk of the weekend time to pray together. The Icarians in Greece, they took naps, and the Sardinians, they took, they always devoted the time for happy hour and got together with the friends and had wine. And of course, in Costa Rica, they took afternoon breaks where they either took rested, or they got together with friends and loved ones. So what are some strategies we may want to look at? Is reduce the noise in your home. This is what that has been mentioned in the book. Cut down on the blaring TV, or if you have speakers, or if your phone is ringing all the time, cut down on the noise. And always, it's a good practice, if you have an appointment, instead of arriving 15 minutes late, plan in such a way that you are there 15 minutes early. You can relax in the waiting room or whatever. That reduces your our stress levels. And again, mindful meditation, you all may be reading that it's one of the habits that we all need to develop. That is, have some mindful, develop a room in a space in your house which is quiet, which is peaceful, where you can meditate before going to sleep, or waking up first thing in the morning. So these are some of the habits of the blue zone residents that we can learn from. Again, the sense of belongingness. What does that mean? It was shown that out of the 2-3 centuries who lived way beyond 100 years of age and were still very active and in the life, they belonged to a faith-based community. And it didn't matter what religion or belief. Being with like-minded people helped them. Now, if you belong to any faith-based organization or to any group, be more involved, volunteer to do things, volunteer to sing spiritual songs, volunteer to do other activities in your group. And if something does not work, if some group that you're in, you're not happy, move on to and find something newer. Maybe go to a yoga group, maybe go to a meditation group. So be with like-minded people where you feel comfortable. And however, just go try out new things. Now, loved ones first. So this is very interesting that I found that the blue zone inhabitants practice, keeping aging parents in or near the home. They always were in positive and committed relationship. They're sincere people. They went out of the way to invest time in love, time with their friends and families, and found really meaningful experiences. So let's look at some strategies we may want to consider. Getting closer to friends and family. It's not necessary to have hundreds and hundreds of friends. It's not the quantity, it's the quality. Have few friends, but be very, be there for them, and they should be there for you, friends or family members. Establish rituals when you get together with family or friends. Plan some nice activities that that everyone enjoys and that brings you closer together. The Blue Zone residents seem to create a family shrine where they have pictures of their ancestors and loved ones that they looked up to, and that brought a lot of comfort and relaxation for them. And again, putting family first, having a loving family environment is extremely important for the Blue Zone residents. Right tribe, let's look at what this means. Research has shown that those who lived the longest, they were born into or they chose to create supportive social circles. So basically, the social circle is so important. The social connectedness is extremely important. Being part of social circles support healthy behaviors and brought in longevity. Again, so what are some of the strategies that we may consider? So identify which company you enjoy most. Is it your satsang group? Is it the church group that makes you feel happy? Is it your yoga group, your meditation group, your speech group? What is it that brings you the most satisfaction and makes you feel comfortable? Be likable, which means, spread your smile, the powerful smile, spread joy around you, spread happiness. Don't be a grouch, because people get attracted to the beautiful smile you have. And create quality time together with whoever you are. So I've gone through a lot of things that the people do in blue zones. So let's look at them, as I try to conclude before we move on to our question and answer session. So what is it? Get up and move. And it doesn't have to be that you have to go, you only have to be active when you go to your health club or your gym. Move around all day. This was one of the success of inequalities of the Blue Zone inhabitants. Eat more plant-based foods and superfoods. You may be seeing so many healthcare organizations again promoting this. Move to plant-based foods. Watch your portions. We tend to overeat because we take large portions of food on our plate and we think we need to finish it. So right from the very beginning, follow that 80% rule, where you only want to eat 80% of your stomach's fullness. Drink in moderation, and especially drinking red wine, which has been shown to have cardioprotective agents, or they have constituents that protect our hearts. But again, do it in moderation, 2 to 3 drinks a day. Figure out and follow so have a purpose in life, which is very meaningful to you, which brings joy to others, and which is helpful to the world. Find ways to decrease stress. And there are, stress is such a killer, and especially those of us who are working, we really work hard. So find ways that you can, and plan it so that you reduce the stress in your life. Belong to a religious group or group of people who have your same belief. So be with like-minded people. And put your loved ones first and nurture your relationship with friends, with family. So these were some of the concluding points that I wanted to go over with you. I may have, gone quite fast, but I wanted to make sure I covered, because again, as you see, none of these are rocket science. These are, and many of these are reminder to us. And if you're doing it, great. If you need to pick up something from this that you think will add the quality to your life, add longevity, and make you live beyond 100 years, and yet you feel like you are in your 40s or 50s. So the next thing I would share with you is most of the information that I shared with you on my slides are from these books. However, I want to tell you that there are many other books and articles and research papers that have been written on this topic, so which are available on the social media very easily. And if you need to read, especially they focus a lot on how they eat and the psychosocial aspect of these blue zone inhabitants. So most of the information that I've shared with you on my slides today are from these three resources. And so now I will actually go on to the question answer session. And Veena ji, if you want, I will now stop sharing my screen. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. Then we can go back to, okay, gallery. Okay. There's somebody here, but I don't know if that person is active or, because it's taking up the screen. Anyway, I mean, that's such an amazing program. I mean, I can't believe it. I really learned a lot. And plus, I'm very happy for myself, at least I would say 75% of the things I'm already doing.
Wonderful.
Maybe 75 to 80%, even more. But I'm going to give a few things like diet. I'm very much into it, but I'm going to, like I take eggs every day, so I'm going to reduce it a couple of times. I like butter. I'm going to reduce that. Put more barley, put more oats, which I like. So a few things. I eat meat, I don't like that much. Fish, I like more. So I think I'm doing a lot of things naturally, and being in the community, with the company, people I like, that I'm doing with my family. I love to be with them. So a lot of these things that you have mentioned here, I'm very happy to say that I'm already doing it. So that's a really good thing to know that I am. So I would like to suggest to all the friends, if you have a little checklist, check all the things that Shiri just said. And you know what? A program is already there it's going to be there in my Dil Diyan Gallan, and you can always go back and get to the points. And always you can get in touch with us, and Shiri will be happy to explain everything to you. And I'm sure if you have any questions, you can ask her directly. But if you have anything here, let us know. But she did such an excellent Madhu Singhal is here. Thanks for joining. Usha is here. Asha ji is here. Anil ji, Payal Mandal Walker is here. Is watching. Neelam Nijhavan is a friend. Is she a friend of yours, or she joined? So there are quite a few people here, and I want all of you to ask questions. If you're not asking questions, then go and look at the whole thing all over again, so that you can learn. And like I just said, I mean, the conclusion part was excellent, because you can do check mark all the things that you're doing. When I was relating to most of them. Decrease stress, do something that really you like to do. For me, it's music. I love to listen to music. It calms me down, so everybody I'll read a book, which I like to do. So everybody should have one of those. Go through all that. I would say, please do that. It's going to be benefiting your life if you follow this thing. Now, all the 5 countries, you see that they're all living quite far away, but they're near the equator, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So something maybe that has something to do with it, or like for example, in California, Loma Linda, what kind of population do you think they're? Mostly Spanish, or Latinos are there, or Mexicans?
Adventist. So probably.
Oh,
yeah. So
they're vegetarians, I think.
I think probably. I don't know for sure. But one thing I really like about the Blue Zone's inhabitants is that they take care of the parents and the elderly. They keep them near. This is something that is kind of fast disappearing. And having grown up in India, I have seen that how much we really respect and care for our ancestors. You will always see pictures of grandfathers and great grandfathers, and somehow that brought some kind of calmness, that these were guardians for us. They've led the life before us. So I think that's something that really I'm trying to build myself. And having a meditation room where I keep pictures of my parents. They are no longer there, and my in-law, my father-in-law, and so, and others who have passed away. That's something that I have learned from the Blue Zone learning about this topic. That has been reinforced. So what I want to say is, like I said, none of this is rocket science, but these are good reminders for us that they really can add 2 years in your life, and like the Blue Zone residents. And it's amazing to see what these Blue Zone residents do.
And like you just said, and I in my den, the place where we sit all the time, watch TV, or my husband, like the main area, I have a big picture of my mom and dad, and I have a big picture of my mother-in-law and father-in-law. That's right there in front of us, so we can't miss it. It's there.
That's wonderful.
There. And then the other side, I have all the pictures of family, and I have my mom and dad, my in-laws, my aunt, uncle, extended family pictures as well. So I like the idea, which I'm already doing. I think that's a fantastic idea, because as you come down, you see your grandkids pictures, you see your mom and dad, you see your in-laws, your sister-in-law, like extended family pictures every day. And that registers, and then you start remembering things. Especially the parents who have gone, that's a blessing when you see the picture. And of course, you remember them every day, but that also kind of, if you see the picture of it there, right there, I see it all the time. So I'm very happy that I'm doing some of the things, and I really like the idea exactly. What I know, what this thing about putting the parents in a nursing home and all, I never liked it, because the parents there, the people, older people who are there living, they're waiting for someone to come to see them. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunately, whoever leaves them there, they're just too busy to come. So they are very they're going through a difficult time. I like to do some volunteering in that department if I can. I might look into it, so that to go there, or children who are orphans, also it's good to go and visit those people. So I like to do something like that, because I feel bad that they're abandoned, and most of the time, very few, maybe once or twice or 3 times a year they come on some Mother's Day or Father's Day. Otherwise they are forgotten, which is a sad thing. Mm-hmm. And I think this concept of families is very Asian thing, and Latin also. So a lot of these countries are from there, and even the Greeks, they also follow the same thing. So I think a lot of the things are enough within us. We don't want to leave the parents somewhere. And
like I said, I have just touched the surface. And, it was just actually Blue Zones 101. If you go deeply into each of the topics, there's so much detail that we can learn from. And one thing that I want to emphasize is the 80% rule. Is before you sit down to eat, just make a pledge to yourself. I'm only going to eat till my stomach is 80% full, which means don't eat till you are really full.
You know what, Shiriji, I remember I am one of the lucky person that I don't eat that much. And everybody around me, whenever I go to any place, they're all running to the buffet, running here. I only go one time, whatever I get, and I only take what I need. In other words, I don't put much, because then you're wasting it, and I don't like to waste food. So I take a little bit of what I want, and that's it. I'm happy, but I'm satisfied. So that rule I'm already following. Why? Because when I was in school in India, I remember when I was like 8-9 years old, and there was a teacher there. She said, "Agar aap ek roti khate ho, to aadhi khao. Don't eat. If you're eating 2, eat 1.5." That thing kind of stuck in my head since childhood. So I can never overeat. It's just there. So I think that's an excellent 80 rule. Is the best for your own health. And you do
the other absolutely. The other thing that is very important, that I think for all of us, no one is getting younger. We are all maturing or aging.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Is to have a purpose in life. Many of us, like I have retired since a couple of years, and and my husband is just about to retire, and so having a purpose in life through retirement. In having a purpose, like maybe being there for your grandkids, or what, not only that, so that will kind of or help, pick up a cause that will help the world, that will help those who need. So having a goal and purposes in life, and this goal or purpose can change. You can revise it as you accomplish your goals. So that's extremely important. Waking up in the morning, especially for somebody like me who has retired, okay, what is my purpose? What should I be doing today and for the next few months? So that will drive my every activity. Of course, number one, I think I would suggest all of us to be committed to ourselves first, to be healthy, to follow some of the Blue Zones things or other things that you're doing that is going to keep you healthy, mentally alert, and mainly be an agent to spread joy, to spread light all around you, and someone who's smiling, who's not don't be a grouch. Wherever you are, let people be drawn by your smile and your good-heartedness and wanting to help.
Another thing is that this program that I'm doing right now, that we are in, that's 3 years of community service. And that's when my purpose, I get up sometime, I'm tired and all that, but I said, I have to do it. So
Wonderful.
Slowly community service, plus right from a long time, I've been volunteering in, different, heading different things like food drive, different things, entertainment for the community, like organizing programs, doing this. And of course, I will also suggest to a lot of people, you're right, that you don't really need thousands of people to be your friends. You have acquaintances. You just have a few of them you can deal with, and you can meet and talk and discuss things without being criticized and you have to be scared, oh, did I say anything? You just hang around with them and enjoy. If you like music, that kind of a group, religious thing, or just like friends to hang around with, that kind of a group. And you don't really need too many, 5-6 people, or whatever your thing is. For me, few is better than more. And I feel that I'm very happy that way. Community and religion, the same thing. I like to be, it's important to have some kind of a faith in something which you like. It doesn't matter, like you said, it could be anything, could be any religion, that doesn't matter. As long as
you are an amazing individual, Veena ji, with what you do, and especially with the Dil Diyan Gallan program. You do a variety of things, and you bring up such wonderful topics and music. So you're doing an amazing thing already. I mean, I'm sure you do many other things that I don't know, but hats off to you for what you do. And basically, my goal, as I've retired, and I was very much, I've over 30 years of life in public health and disease prevention. So my goal is, how can I educate people, whether here or in India or wherever I visit, how can I educate them to take care of themselves, to be more aware of things that will help them lead healthier and happier lives. That is my goal. So that's why I chose this topic to talk about, where reinforce some of the good habits people are already doing, and to learn from the lessons we learn from the Blue Zones and introducing. So on your own, you can be learning much more about Blue Zones. And I just, as I was researching on the internet before doing this, I read about an organization in Aspen, and they're doing, they're so much into Blue Zone, they want to actually make Aspen here in the US as another Blue Zone. And I mean, at least that's what I understood. Maybe it already has, all the criteria for becoming a Blue Zone. So what I'm saying is that let us all be aware of what is going to help us be mentally alert, be physically fit as we are aging. So, yeah.
Then another one of my friend Ramaji, she's right here, and she's very impressed. She says extremely informative session, and she's, like she said, music therapy. Like I said, because we are connected to music, we love music. We need to follow more of the Blue Zone residents, what they are doing. Correct, Ramaji? And family trees, pictures. You can put all the, which I do sometimes. I have made the tree for my children to see who's there, which side of the family, and so it's good to put pictures with that as well. If you can find the pictures, that's good. Family tree pictures.
So one thing I wanted to tell you is they, in Blue Zones, they did a family shrine, which I feel I need to read more about it. I feel that they had a special room where, they had their ancestors, and maybe where they meditated or prayed. I don't know. I need to look more into and that's what shrine means to me.
Right.
Is having a quiet room, not very public, which is mainly for you. And so I think that's a great tip for us to pick up.
That's a very good thing. So thank you. I mean, I'm very happy that whoever came here today, it's so nice of you to join. And one person was here, she just left. She was in this Zoom meeting. And I want to say that, thank you all of you who joined today. I mean, really amazing. And the ones who could not join today, they missed out a lot. But like I said before, if you want to listen again, go back. The recording is there. You can always go back, and I'm sure a lot of people will be going back to listen to it. And whoever missed it today, I know my friend missed it today. She'll definitely will listen to it afterwards. And a lot of other people, the few other people who could not join, but I'll put it in the. My assistant will put it again. Repeat the same thing by the weekend. She'll repeat it again next week, because we really want people, and we are doing this. Shiriji is taking the time to explain everything to us, and I'm doing my side, community service. So we want this for the people. We are doing the something for all of you to benefit from this program. And we're taking time and all that because we like to help people. And this is both of us. We want to be in the community. We want to do something for the communities, people around us. We have that inside of us. So that's why we are doing this. And Shiriji is going to keep on coming to our programs, and we're gonna come up with some more different topics that's going to be very useful for all of you who are coming and watching us. Right, Shiriji?
So I want to conclude by thanking you, Veenaji, and to thank those who attended the live session today, as well as those who may be listening to it because this time did not work out. And so thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'm truly grateful.
Welcome. You're welcome. I'm going to take a picture of two of us. And I'm very happy that we did this thing, because now it's like you said, it's an eye opener for me. Now I realize that a few things that I'm doing are correct. But we're going to come up with some more programs, and she's going to be coming back to us, Shiriji, in a couple of weeks with a very nice, entertaining program in the evening. That's going to be in July, I believe. And then we'll come up with some other session we'll do, which is going to be health related. We'll also come up with that. So thank you so much again, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Enjoy this Wednesday. And also, Shiriji, thank you so much for joining today. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you. And,
thanks to all our audience and Veenaji. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Okay.